Hello and welcome to Perry Pencil. Today I'm going to be drawing Laura Croft from Tomb Raider, the new movie 2017 that's going to be released soon. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Please help me get 50 likes and 30 comments on these how to draw videos. Well, let's start as I always start, is coming down and putting a little perimeter here so we don't have our character or whoever we're drawing's head go past that and cut off the top of their head. Let's take this line in half, our vertical line straight down, and of course this is going to be a waist high drawing because we want to get as much particular for Laura Croft as we can. Now once you have her head sketched in, we're going to go ahead and put an oval like I always do under the character's head, and we're going to put two simple lines here for her neck. And notice she's a female, neck's kind of not going to be all thick as Batman or Superman, those other guys. Okay, underneath this we're going to put a simple line here. We're not going to do the head to shoulder measurement because it is different for females than it is for males. Females head to shoulder are not the same in terms of measurements. The female's head is always going to be somewhat larger, only because they are different in terms of the makeup of how they look. So if you notice, I went ahead and did a few steps here. Off the oval, we want to put a line here for the shoulders and here. They don't have broad, flat shoulders like a man. So what you want to do is you want to have a straight line come here. This is a U shape. As I always talk about in my tutorials, I use letters and shapes to identify anatomy. So from there, we're going to go ahead, and this is going to be about where her waist is going to start. So what I usually like to do is come on in here like this and draw two lines here, give her a thin waist. Okay. Put a circle here. This is going to be the pelvic area, and then it's going to go right off the page here. So we're going to take right off this oval shape I just did here. I'm going to back up for you. Once you sketch that in, have her hips go right off the edge of the page here. Now for her arms, we're going to deal with the arms the way we ordinarily do with every drawing. We're going to put a circle here and here. Okay. Again, her arms are not going to be huge and muscular. She's going to be regular arms. It's going to come down to about where the waist line is. We put a circle here for her elbow. Notice what I did here. Cylinder here, elbow, put a circle here. Same thing for her left side. Arms are going to be straight down to the side, nothing fancy, very simplistic. And put a circle here as well. You can take this line and verify that's where her arms are going to be. And then we're going to carry her arms right off the page along with her waist here. Okay. And I usually like to keep things fairly simple in terms of when you're sketching and drawing and developing character. So let's go ahead and jump on up to her face or head. And usually, as I always do, I zoom in on this portion so you can kind of get a close up of what I'm doing. So let's start with the line, the horizontal line here, and we're going to put her hairline in right about here. So if you see I have the mark for the top of her head, bring the hairline down to about here. Okay, it's about ½ an inch. Now I'm going to go ahead and sketch her eyes in here, just like this. Let's keep it simple. Oval shapes for her eyes, right? Now we can go ahead and put the temple line in like I always usually do, and put the nose for the nose line in. Now we're gonna go ahead and sketch her eyes in, or draw her eyes off of what we did with the circle shapes. We're gonna just come down like this. Females' eyes are a little bit more slanted, and they have bushier eyelashes. So I usually focus on that and use that in order for it to be different than when they're drawing a male character. And just come on around like this. And you can, if you notice, I'm kind of sketching in thicker eyelashes so that it's prominent and you can see that it's female. Now with the eye part, or the iris, excuse me, you're gonna come down about here. Okay, and do the same thing here. Now, her eyebrows are going to be simple. We're just going to come across like this and just arc it just a little bit. We don't want her to be angry. We don't want her to be afraid or too excited. So we want her eyebrows just medium, like she's focused. Now we move down to her nose. Her nose is very simple. We're going to put a V shape right here, and then tiny indications for her nostrils right here. Gonna be very, very simple. And then we'll have a line that comes down like this. For her lips, we're gonna go ahead and just put normal looking lips in. Come under like this. Notice this is an M shape. That's another thing to identify with when you're drawing your characters. The letter M for the cleft in the middle underneath the nose will always be the letter that I use when I'm drawing any character. And then put the bottom lip in. It's just a straight, simple line. All right. Now we're going to put her chin in, which is important. We're going to come out just past where the temple line I have here, come around, and we're going to just connect that chin like that. Come in the other side and do the same thing. And do that there. Now for her hair, we're going to go ahead and part the hair, and we're going to come over and off to the side like this, and do the same thing here. She has a bang that kind of comes over the left eye, or just above the left eye. I want to pass through the eye itself. Come around, wrap that around the other side, and kind of create that bang. If you notice, I repeated this shape, so I went here and then went here. You're gonna come under, come around, and we can put the bottom of her ear in just like where the bottom of her nose is. Same thing for the right side of her. Bring that ear down just a little bit. Now for the top of her head, we're gonna come out of the top of where this line is drawn and bring her hair around, and we're gonna come down to the side, lightly sketch that in. Because right now we're in the developmental stages, and we're not, at this point I should say I'm not always sure 100% of how the turnout's gonna be, so you wanna lightly put it in and not commit too soon. I always talk about committing too soon in the drawing. So let's go ahead and she has hair flowing. For this particular pose, I put her hair flowing in the wind kind of. And then come around like this and up. So it's kind of like a wave. Or let's say a horizontal S. If that helps. Come around and repeat that same shape. And then we have a little bit of hair wrapped around her left shoulder. All right, let's go back up to her eye and shade her eye in a little bit, add a little bit of shading to it, and do the same thing here. And I think I want to bring this eyelash down just a little bit. Center. Now, for the left side or right side of her head, she has hair that kind of comes out and is flaring out a little bit. So let's do some strokes from the inside of the face to the outside of her head. And then we have like a little bang that comes down over this shoulder like this for Laura. Now, we're gonna go ahead on and add a little bit of detail to the hair. So let's go ahead and put a part here. And for this portion, I'm gonna go ahead and shade the hair in a bit. So I'm gonna speed up. Now, let's go ahead and put her collarbone in, which is a dip right here in the center, come off to the side. We can go ahead and put her shoulders in. Her shoulders come around just like this. Like I said, they're not broad. And let's begin to define the anatomy a bit. So come straight down like this. She is wearing a tank top, so let's go ahead and put those lines in there. And then do the same thing for her left side. And then we're going to bring those lines out to the side like so. Come around to the center, and this is a slight half oval shape. Now, what you want to do is put roundness here. You can do circle shapes, very simple shapes, which is circle shapes here. Now, once you do that, you can refine it. Notice what I'm doing. I'm sketching in the outer portion of her shirt here, and we're coming in just like that. And when you come around, you can just bring a line that comes up off of this area here and do the same thing on the left. Come around with the arms. Now with the arms, we're going to carry that straight down. And again, I'm not putting too much definition in. She's not a very muscular version of Laura Croft. Neither was the first version either. But just to let you know, you don't have to be caught up on does the muscles look right or things like that, because they're almost like straight up and down cylinder shapes. So if you notice, I'm just going to go ahead and I define the forearm just a little bit there, a little bit of curves here. Don't need to go crazy at all. And with the hair, if you notice, I just shaded it in and made it all kind of one shape. And now from here, I can go ahead on and let's talk about her waist. It's going to come in. If you notice off the oval, there's a oval shape that carries all the way through the top portion of her body. Let's come in right here, and we can put little squiggles here for her shirt. She is wearing a tank top, so we're going to go ahead and emphasize that a little bit. And her shirt is long, so it's going to go right off the page, just like this. I'm going to come up under here, add minor detail here. Okay, now let's jump over to the right side of her. She is wearing, I suppose here, this is representation of a wound that she may have had on her arm at some point. So let's go ahead and put that on. She has her arm covered. So I'm guessing there's some type of event that took place that caused her to have to tie this part of her arm up. So let's get that in there. And 3-4 lines is fine. You don't have to go too crazy with fabric. And then put a little bow here that looks like she actually tied this off, just like that. Okay, a little bit of indication of the arm bending here. You can put a V. That's a V shape here, right there. Nothing too extravagant. Now we're going to go ahead and put the borders of her tank top on right here. Just kind of follow this in. That's a minor detail. And then bring that line over just like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate a strap, a leather strap that goes across her upper body. Now bring the other line over like this. Okay. And have it come straight off like this and close it off. At the end of the video, we always, as I always explain, I'll clean it up and explain when you're doing sketching and drawing characters, that you do the preliminary beginning stages of everything, and then you can always clean it up later. It's not important to clean up as you go. It's good to do it when everything is completed. So if you notice, I put a square shape here, or rectangular shape, sorry. Came in and did a smaller one, and then loop and holes for the strap. What you want to do at this point, she has one arm that kind of comes across on an angle on her waist. Bring that line over. And then always bleed past the actual line of the character, because it makes it look a little bit more realistic. Do the same thing here, repeat that shape, and bring it off to the side like this. Notice you can see through that, so you always go back later and erase and clean this up. Now, we're going to put a belt buckle here, just like this. So I did 2 lines here, 1 here, 1 at the bottom. So it's essentially the square shape or rectangular shape. The top is longer than the sides a little bit, but it's close enough to a square. And then you want to put the loop in here as well, on with the belt buckle latch, and a few holes here, little small tiny sketch of pinholes here. All right, now most of it's done. At this point here, she does have a bow, so just a simple shape for the bow. We're going to take a line up to the very top of the page, wrap it around like so, and put a little arc in it and come back down. There's nothing really detailed about it. I just want to indicate that. Maybe I'll put 2 lines here, and then the line for the bow itself. So we don't see the rest of it because her body's covering that. And we're going to go ahead and put we're going to put in a couple of bows here. I'm sorry, arrows. Bring that in, and then you can do another one here. And of course, we don't see the rest of them, so they become unimportant. Put 3rd one there if you want. And then you indicate something behind her here. So if you've drawn along with me up to this point, you've just drawn Laura Croft from Tomb Raider 2017 movie that's coming out soon. And what I'm going to do at this point, as I always do, is clean up and make it look neat. And at the end of it, if you like, you can take a look at it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe by pressing this round button at the bottom. Also, click on one of the 2 top videos at the top. Please like this video, tell a friend, and share it on Facebook. Thank you. Perry Pencil.